We're gonna jump in a time machine together. We're gonna go back to late 80s, mid 90s, to when these toys were poppin'. That's right. I'm sure you've already guessed it. Polly Pockets. This was my absolute favorite toy growing up. You know, it really has shaped me to be the person I am today, and that sounds very weird because it's just a little mini toy. But I make miniatures now, which is a bizarre thing I never thought I would be doing, but I make a lot of miniatures. So I thought I would give a little ode to my childhood and one of the toys that really shaped me into the adult and artist I am today. When I originally started this project, I was gonna make an exact replica of my exact Polly Pocket from when I was a kid, and I realized as soon as I had the shell, you know, I can do actually whatever I want to do. It doesn't have to look anything like any of the originals, so of course I added some liquid in there so we have some moving water, and I went with more of a courtyard cathedral theme. Now, part of the cool thing with the Polly Pockets was there was always pieces in there that moved around. There was always a swing or a little carousel that moved. So that was my big challenge for this project. I've never made a hinge. I've never made anything like that. So we're learning new things to incorporate down the road. So at this point, this thing is already maximalist, and it's got a lot of details. I couldn't help myself. It just kept happening, and this was all that was spewing out of me. So we have a extra elaborate Polly Pocket type toy at this point. So with the florals, of course I needed my florals. I'm a big flower girl, so had to add those in there and had to get that little gate at the front. A lot of them, all the Polly Pockets had a little gate at the front of the toy that always swung. I thought that was so cool and had to figure it out for myself. I'm getting into those crazy little Polly Pocket features now. We're getting magnets in there and a little hinged hedge to hide some things in. There was always cute little spaces that, you know, you could let your imagination soar in and create your little storylines in their little play areas. So I made a little bird bath next to the pathway. I have a bird bath in my backyard that I absolutely love, so had to add that in here. And a fire pit. I always wanted like a fireplace or a fire pit in my Polly Pocket, and that just didn't exist, so here we are making our own. Okay, let's make the little girly now. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make her, but I figured out how I could make her attach. There is a tiny little metal ball in the base of her, so she does adhere to all the magnets in this thing, which is amazing. I didn't expect that to work out, but it did. I wanted her to hinge like the classic toys, but she's just too tiny. I couldn't make it work. We gotta stop at some point, right? So this was kind of an unexpected challenge. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with the base to kind of disguise the lip balm that's inside of there, but why not make it a stacked Polly Pocket on top of another one? Of course. Now, I don't know about you, but this, with the Polly Pockets stacked, is straight up nostalgia. It is giving me 90s vibes big time. I can see it, I can smell it. What about you? Did you guys have Polly Pockets? Did you have... I can't remember what the other one was. There was another one for... They were targeted to boys. My husband said that he used to play with them when he was a little one. So, I mean, is it giving you the nostalgic 90s commercial? Are you wanting to play in this little Polly Pocket? I sure hope so, because I do. It is a little bit too tiny to play with, I do have to admit. This one requires tweezers to play with the little girl, but the mininess of it makes it so much more fun in my eyes. I love a miniature. I have Polly Pockets to thank. It's amazing how much this little toy really has changed my life. and put it in a direction I didn't necessarily see for myself. Maybe when we're lost and not exactly knowing where we fit on this crazy planet, maybe it was in front of us all along, right? Maybe letting that little kid inside of yourself indulge in the things that make us happy is probably the healthiest thing we can do for ourselves. Even if our own insecurities tell us, you can't do it. You can. This is proof. So now you've watched me play with my inner child, why don't you go play with yours? Go find your indulgence. That little kid's probably wanted to hear from you. If you haven't yet, please come follow me over on Tamika S on Facebook or Tamika Sperry on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I'll see you over there.